expect the students to complete the work in and what actually happens. So the provision of on-course, there will be on the secondary level a column where teachers will place, the expected time of completion for homework. And then on the elementary level, as it's handed out, this should take 15 minutes or something like that. So it's, again, I really want to thank the members of the policy committee for their continued work. We keep chipping away on that list of policies, but it really, this one is, I think, another big step in terms of our work towards homework.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, members of the public are invited to address the board on any matter for a maximum of 3 minutes during this portion of the meeting. You are asked to state your name, address, and municipality. In response to your comments, the Board of Education may respond or direct the superintendent to do so. The board may also opt to take the matter up at a future meeting so that the matter is researched by district administration. Public comment is now open.
He's with us.
My name is Brenda Considine. You probably need me up here, right?
Yes, thank you.
My name is Brenda Considine. I'm at 39 Model Avenue, and I live in Hopewell Borough. I'm circulating a picture tonight of a relatively recent graduate of Hopewell Valley Central High School as he accepts his college diploma. This is a pretty high-achieving district, so that doesn't seem to be anything too spectacular. The week before, my daughter also accepted her diploma. But this is extraordinary. So look at the picture, and let me tell you a story. My husband Rick and I have 2 children, both of whom went through Hopewell Valley Public Schools, and both of whom needed a little extra help. My daughter graduated in 2015 and had some unique and intense medical needs, and for a little while needed a 504 plan and benefited tremendously from that. My son in particular needed a lot more help and a lot of ongoing help. As a kindergartner, he was identified as having an autism spectrum disorder, Asperger's syndrome. At the end of kindergarten, he was classified by your child study team and was placed in a gen ed first grade with supports, and he did okay. He had a one-to-one paraprofessional, but struggled, and when his behavior became too much, your child study team allowed us to bring in some experts to take a look at him and make some recommendations. When he started to regress in the summer, your team agreed to approve extended school year programs to prevent that regression. He attended both in-district and out-of-district ESY programs. When he wasn't reading by the end of 2nd grade, your team helped arrange for private reading tutoring using an evidence-based program that wasn't yet offered in district. I think the district offers them now, but at the time they didn't. He was placed in what's now an extinct MAP class, a MAP 2-3, for 2 consecutive years, and his teachers and paraprofessional worked really hard with him. He had some peak skills in some unusual areas, so he also benefited from your gifted and talented program. It wasn't easy. He did not have many friends. He was bullied and struggled to fit in. And in spite of his intellect, he fell behind. He was starting to dislike school, and he became very disruptive. So by the end of 3rd grade, it was evident to everyone that he needed more than what Hopewell had to offer. And we started the process of looking for an out-of-district placement. Eventually, he was placed at a private school in the Cherry Hill area, and he would later go to 3 different private special education schools, each based on what he needed at the time. We made decisions together with your team. We did not always agree with them, but we always agreed to listen and to work together. There were compromises, but he was never compromised, ever. Sometimes we pushed, and we pushed back. Sometimes they pushed and pushed back. We always treated each other with respect. I did a lot of research, and they listened. They knew a lot, and I tried to listen. They told me to worry less, and I wish now that I had, but it was my job to worry. So why am I here? I'm here tonight to say thank you to this Board of Education for placing trust in your child study team to make the right decisions and for trusting families to be part of that process. To the educators and paraprofessionals and school leaders who helped us on our journey and who supported him and our family. I also want to underscore the important role of private special education programs for that subset of kids for whom Hopewell cannot fulfill their needs. These schools helped get my son ready for college and kept his self-esteem intact. They provided wraparound services where every single person understood him, appreciated his seemingly narrow interests, and enjoyed his unique way of looking at the world. I know these schools are expensive, and I know the district had to make compromises to make that happen. But I'm here tonight to say thank you and to tell you that right now at 7:30, he's at work in Lower Manhattan, working in the financial industry at a well-respected European bank who is experiencing cuts. But he's still got a job. He's writing code, helping them keep their electronic records safe, loves his work, and paid his rent this month. He's a taxpayer, and he's contributing to society. So no matter what path either of our kids are on, I want them to be happy, and both of them are, and I want them to be self-supporting, and now one of them is. But we just wanted to come back and say thank you and bring it full circle because neither of my kids would be where they are today if it weren't for this Board of Education. So it's just a thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for.
Taking the time to.
Get the picture back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing. Congratulations.
We need a lot more of that.
Yeah.
You can come back and update us anytime.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Any items of old business? I'll just suggest that there's a few members of our board that have still not completed our self-assessment. So I think they're going to compile them on Friday. So if you can do it by Friday, that's great. Really appreciate that.
Not mentioning
I'm not looking at anybody. I'm not
Do
looking
you
at.
know who didn't do it? Because I think I did it,
Oh,
but
I
now
know.
I'm
I know.
questioning.
I know I did it.
You did it.
Oh, okay. Whew.
Yeah, I could-
I didn't expect that to be such an item. I was trying to keep that on the down low. Absolutely.
Speaking for the
Absolutely. Consent agenda. May I have a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda? Is there anything that anyone wants to remove from the consent agenda or any discussion?
I just had two I wanted to discuss.
Yep.
So, was it I-5 and I-8? So it was the field trips and travel expenses. What was it?
I-5 and
Yeah.
I-8.
Yeah, under ed program. Okay. We had some discussion over them this morning, so I just wanted
Okay, great. So other than I-5 and I-8, any other discussion?
I
Yep.
did have also a question about I-6. It didn't identify.
Okay. And I-6. Do you have that? Okay. Anything else? Okay. All those in favor of what's left?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Motion carries. Mr. DiDonato, Finance Facilities.
Yeah, and so everything tonight is on consent, but we had a pretty good discussion in today's Finance and Facilities meeting. A few things came up. One of which was the school lunch price increase. We decided to sort of collapse for the elementary school. We had two lunch programs. One was $2.75 for just the regular basic meal. So what we decided to do was bring it all up to a much higher standard, to the premium lunch price. We're basically offering the premium lunch price for $3 versus the $3.85. So it's going to be one premium meal. Hopewell Elementary will probably be the only school that still offers the beyond, what's it called, the ultra premium village schools will all at least be premium lunch. So it's somewhat of a hit on us for, as far as, potentially making revenue, on the lunch program, but I think things have been going pretty well, so, the change was a benefit, and it was actually promoted by, a few of the principals at the elementary school, so we ended up going that route. We also talked about the referendum, and some elements of the referendum. There's security vestibules are underway, some windows being done in the art room, a couple tiny issues at Bear Tavern with lead paint, something that we kind of knew going into this, being the age of the school. So the lead paint's was properly remediated. They extended this out a bit. Hopewell Elementary is going well. What else do we have here? The media centers. There were a couple tiny issues over at the high school with some uneven flooring. These are being addressed, and then some fire alarm issues that are being addressed as well. I think the plans to redo the steps are still underway, and we still don't know exactly what the total plan is to get the steps redone at the high school, but that is something that is in the planning process. Outside of that, that's really it.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, personnel.
All right, could I get a motion to move the personnel?
Motion.
Thank you. Tonight, we reviewed the personnel agenda for this evening, and it includes several new hires. These are new hires that are filling roles, whether it be from retirements or exits or resignations, et cetera. So there was a lot of filling that Tony and his crew has had to do. At this point, for the 1920 school year, we're pretty fully staffed. I think, Tony, you said we're just looking for the K-5 health and wellness position, and that for the most part should be about it. And then lastly, the negotiations with the HBESPA. We have another session on this week, Wednesday, as well as I think we have another one in July, and then I think another one in August scheduled.
Is that educational support?
Yes, secretaries, paraprofessionals, custodial, and staff. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Ms. Linthorst,
Yes.
Ms. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Markulek, Ms. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Ms. Polara,
Yes.
Mr. Sawicki,
Yes.
Ms. Tracy,
Yes.
Mr. DiDonato,
Yes.
Ms. Murray.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Ed program.
I was unable to attend today. Ms. Lincoln, or Mr. Could you update the board?
I probably wouldn't be the best candidate because I was listening.
On the phone.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll be glad to. Okay, so we had three primary things. First, we started, Principal Smith and Ms. Pinelli came to our meeting and discussed the section planning at the high school. This is a continuing saga that started when we were going through the budget discussions, where they're trying to optimize the number of sections we have so we don't have too many small sections. Basically, I can give some status. We have the challenges they have tend to be what they refer to as the singletons, the cases where they have a course which runs a single section, and we have 96 of those, of which I think 14 or 15 are AP courses. And we had some discussion based upon some communication from the public with regard to some conflicts that are going there. So one of the challenges they have is they run the AP science courses in the afternoon because of recitation in the morning. And that winds up causing a conflict with some of the, like the Calc 2 and the Calc 3 classes, because our faculty member who teaches those teaches half day. So it's something that we're working through now. They've done their best to try to mitigate the total number of conflicts and get everybody where they can. There's still, some cases of 45 students where, they have to look for alternative planning.
4 to 5.
4 to 5.
Not 4
So
to
not
5.
45. I'm sorry if that.
4-5.
There you go.
But, they went through the process with us, so I think it was very helpful, and, I came out of there, feeling very good in terms of being very diligent in the process. They're gonna go through it again, once the courses come out in August, and they'll go through it again once students start, and if there's some changes as the school year begins. So it's a continuing process through September.
And I think it's important to note that when they've had to say no to any students, they've provided alternatives so that student could access what they desire. And I think that's really important, even though that might not ring well with the people who have to go down that alternative route, but at least they have opportunity. And that, I think, is something that I feel pretty proud of that our administrative team has done. So.
We also went through the professional development plan for next year, as well as some of the summer curriculum writing, which was very good. And we had some discussion also about topics for discussion in the coming year. So.
If I can just add, because there was a question about the fundraiser that was on here for approval that was pulled. That's a car wash that's being sponsored to raise money for the Senior Awards Night banquet. And that's on the 13th of this month, I think they want to do it, right? So if
I
you
don't think it's senior awards, I think it's basketball.
Is it basketball?
Girls basketball, yeah, that was
Okay,
Colleen
I'm
Ross,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm thinking it's a class, you're right. Colleen's a basketball coach. So I think they want to do it, though, before our next board meeting, so I don't think if we don't approve it, that's going to, they won't be able to hold it. So.
I'm fine
So what are
with
your thoughts?
approving it if we all know what it's for. That was just my concern.
Yes. So it's for their awards night banquet.
For the girls' basketball.
Usually we put the actual application on. I think it got dropped off this time, right?
It's there, isn't it on there?
No.
And then what were the other three that we need to discuss?
It's attached. The car
That was
wash.
one.
That was one.
Field
I6.
trips
The
and
other two were
travel.
I-5 and I-8.
Oh, you mean on the board, it's on the common.
Let's move it first.
That's
Okay,
fine.
we need to move it separately.
Okay, so we need to
We
put it on
can do
the
them
larger
at once,
agenda.
we can do them
Okay.
separately.
Sorry about that.
But we can't do it as part of ed program.
You can move the ed program, whatever's left.
Oh, we didn't move, okay.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
So, would we like a motion then to discuss I-5 and I-8?
6 and 8.
6 and 8? May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank
Second.
you. Thank you.
That's good. I think that's I-6. For I-5, we had some discussion on one item, and I forgot this morning, and please pardon, to just ask one question, which was a clarification that we have district costs listed in terms of buses and such, and if there's nothing listed, there was no additional costs in the district. I think that was I just wanted to clarify that, just so it's clear for everybody. Okay. So that's all I had on I-5, and then on I-8, we discussed this morning travel expenses for NJSBA conference. And just in terms of that, I think we had noted that we were going to have a discussion about that in our retreat. I subsequently wound up sending an email. I was just asking, there is a group rate for attendance, so I just wanted to make sure we are getting that. So, for the registration, so.
Early bird too,
We got the early bird?
always.
Excellent, okay. That's what I just wanted to make sure. Okay. I guess the one other question I have, we still have Tom, Bob, and Tony listed here. Just one question I have is for other, I guess my general question is sometimes we seem to list attendees one by one, other times we combine things like when we have, where is it, Tom, at TCNJ, we have the programs that we send out for some of the learning and stuff. Well, is there a specific reason we do like line items per person in some instances and group items in others?
I think for like the TCNJ professional development, we reserve 5 slots
but we might not have the teachers.
Right.
Okay.
So.
So there we're just reserving spots?
We're just, yeah,
Okay.
we're reserving and paying
We
for.
pay for a subscription, and any 5 teachers can go.
Correct. But then they
Okay.
still have to come back.
Yeah, they still
not
have
Yeah,
to come
they,
back.
yeah, they still have to come back.
And put in a professional trip to let us know they're going. But when you
Okay.
approve it initially, you're approving the subscription we're paying for to allow 5 teachers to go.
Got it.
Any of our-
Now, for this, are we approving specific people when we register them? Is that why it's different
For the school boards?
for the school board
Yeah.
association?
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. I just wanted to, I was just looking at it and thinking and just wanted to make sure we got the best rate we could. So thank you for making sure we got that, Bob.
Yep. It's one of my to-do things every spring when they register. Just so you all know, Rosetta said she's going to follow up, but there is a deadline that we have. We need to pay by September 20th. So if we wait till that September board meeting, it's cutting it close. We'll have to FedEx a check
Okay.
down to Atlantic City. So, I mean, I'd like to have everybody commit or not commit by the August meeting if we can.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we need to put it on the August or
Right.
approval.
Okay.
Thank you. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Motion carries. Community relations.
This week?
Is it tomorrow?
Wednesday at 3 o'clock.
And I'll miss that, I'll be at. Oh, I could call in. I'll call in. All right. Very good.
It's a multimedia presentation.
Is, meaning?
Checking Facebook, checking Instagram, Snapchat.
Oh,
Got it all going.
I don't want to miss this then.
That's
No
it.
way.
Okay. 6 sections. Susan came in, gave me some private tutoring on Facebook.
On the Facebook.
On the Facebook.
On the Facebook.
It was
and then
called
the
the Facebook.
Instagram and the Snapchat. Yeah, we're gonna, just, and we'll talk about it Wednesday, but, the Community Relations Committee, one of the big pushes, I think, rolling out in September is really, really expand our social media presence on the internet. And
I
the
think we already
website.
have a large presence. We just want it to be a presence that comes from us.
Yes. We really want to-
Yeah.
That's it. No. All comments are welcome.
You want her to run the meeting?
That's it.
Okay. Looking forward to hearing all about this. Policy.
Okay. All right, first, can I have a motion to move the policies up for first reading?
Second.
Okay, so we had a very good meeting last Friday, and what we're moving tonight, requesting to move tonight, are policy and regulation 2330 for homework. Okay, so this is based upon Dr. Smith runs his school climate survey, and we got the data for that, and the administration did a great job in terms of sifting through the voluminous comments as well as the data. And based upon that, we had a couple things that, from that feedback that we wanted to make sure was incorporated in our homework policy and regulation. So one thing we noticed was there's quite a disparity between how long the teachers thought assignments should take versus what students were reporting. Now, what causes that? There's probably a number of factors, but there's a big enough difference that we want to make sure there's some feedback there. So as Dr. Smith had mentioned before, they're taking care of some things in on-course to help, better communicate assignment expectations in terms of duration, things like that. Some other things we found were many comments from parents feeling homework wasn't they didn't see the meaningfulness of the homework. So we tried to communicate in both the policy and the regulation like 2 key things. We wanted it to be meaningful in terms of its relevance to the learning experience, as well as, and a big part of that is getting some kind of meaningful feedback on it. Right now, some cases it can be easy, other cases it can be more challenging, written assignments and stuff. But it needs to be meaningful feedback and it needs to be done in a timely manner. So you'll see we put in a bunch of things related to that throughout. Okay. Beyond that, let's see, we added in our 8 days of for social emotional learning with in regard to homework. We added that in. And also just some other things we saw in terms of, things like when we're talking about what can parents and caregivers do, we made sure to put in, communicate the opportunities we have with recitation and flex period for that to be for homework supports and encouraging our students to take advantage of those opportunities. So a lot of really good changes. I think it helps strengthen an already strong policy regulation. Oh, in addition to that, Dr. Smith gave us a first glance at a grading regulation. So that, we gave him some feedback on that, and that will be coordinated with our grading committee. So, any questions, or Pete, Debbie, if you had any additional comments, I think we were in agreement that we recommend it.
I don't know, I think, are we pioneers here?
I mean, we're probably having, as far as I know, more conversations regarding homework, the meaningfulness of it, than any other folks I know.
And with and just the path that you go down with bringing in the dogs and social emotional learning and, focusing on the child as well as what they're learning in there. I think these are all, big hurdles for districts, just in general. Right? We don't just want an A out of every child when they exit school. We want them to, feel, and I think, being in technology, I don't know how much humans are going to be worth, 30, 40 years from now.
A lot.
I mean, at least in the, in the workforce.
Okay.
Say that
So,
out
Good.
So all those in favor of the first readings?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Motion carries.
thank you. Can I have a motion to move the policy and regulation up for second reading?
So moved.
Second.
All right, great. These we had for first reading last month. It's policy and regulation 5530 on substance abuse. And again, this is something where we've made good use of, a year's worth of experience. I think we discussed it at the last meeting. In the last month, we didn't wind up having any additional recommendations for change. So, we're moving this for adoption now.
Great.
If I could just make a comment before folks vote. You may or may not have read some of the information from the CEO from Juul, talking about the impact of electronic delivery or vape pens. It's something that they called it a national epidemic for teens, and it's something we're dealing with. So this is a significant change in our policy that we are seeing these as paraphernalia. And by the truth.org, research by the truth.org, 30% of kids who Juul have used the Juul for other than nicotine. And the notion of being able to use what was our word, Adam? High concentrations of nicotine also. So, I mean, this is no joke. And we're making sure that we're not trying not to use the term vaping, because vaping makes it sound like something else. But these are electronic nicotine delivery systems, plain and simple. And we have students who are addicted to nicotine at a very young age, and companies are making billions of dollars off our children, creating lifelong addicts. And, again, in terms of, we've done a lot of research through this, and I've heard from a number of, in reading this, a number of folks who said that heroin was easier to kick than nicotine. And it's just really scary because, it's virtually indetectable or undetectable as so we are taking a pretty strong stand as a district, and I appreciate the board's support in this, and looking at these electronic, they're electronic cigarettes, bottom line. They're not sexy, they're not Juuls, These are electronic cigarettes that are delivering high concentrations of nicotine to our students and to young people across America. Sorry, I was on the soapbox.
If anything along those lines, I was negligent, I should have pointed out. We also, there was, I believe, an article, was it Hopewell Express? I believe it was. You know, we had gotten feedback from some community members who were not in favor of the adoption of the policy last year. You know, we reviewed that, and I think we discussed it, and the thought was as we head into the new year, we will be having more discussion in terms of presenting the community what happened in our first year and making people aware of what we're trying to do and you know, whether we thought we were successful. So,
That's specifically regarding our random drug testing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
High intensity.
Nice. High intensity didn't make the cut. I
Mr.
thought it was-
Calavita, may I have a roll call, please?
Thought it would go viral, but
Ms. Long,
Yes.
Mr. Markulek,
Yes.
Ms. O'Reilly,
Yes.
Ms. Polaro,
Yes.
Mr. Sawicki,
yes.
Ms. Tracy,
Yes.
Mr. DiDonato,
Yes.
Ms. Linthorst,
Yes.
Mrs. Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Calendars.
What?
It is a board meeting after all. May I have a motion, please, to approve the calendars?
Second.
Any discussion?
July.
For July,
I don't think so.
August.
August, we need community relations and policy.
Okay. For policy, whatever you think is a good date, you know, in terms of getting the next set of stuff.
Mhm.
My only request is if we do it the week of the 12th, I'm likely on the West Coast there, so maybe
Okay.
a little later than the
Do you want to do the 12th, and we could do, what's not good, what's good, 9?
only thing is I'm not sure if I'm traveling.
Oh, okay, you don't, okay. Or we could do, I mean, we could do the 1st. I'm out the week of the 5th.
Okay.
So we could do the 1st, or we could do the week of the 12th, or we could
I could
just-
do the week of the 12th just if it were, you know, later, like, you know, 9 a.m. or
9 a.m.,
after.
yeah. Is that good for,
Yeah, that works.
on the 12th? Yep, on the 12th at 9?
Not
Then I might be traveling.
I'm
So
sorry,
it has to be
You
other
said the
than
week
the
of 12th.
Yeah.
Do you want to say
The
13th?
Let's try. Let's do that. And
Okay.
if anything firms up and it changes.
13th,
I'll let you
okay.
I just can't do it.
You can't do it?
Can't.
Bert?
Yeah, I'm traveling Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay.
know. Want to do it 15th then?
15th?
Yeah, we can do 15th.
15th.
I can't do it. Sorry.
That's it, you guys.
College
So 16th?
16th?
Can we do?
Going once, going twice?
If we go, yeah, if it's, I think that's, yeah, if we could do, will you be in Seattle?
I will have. I'll be back.
You'll be
I'll be
back?
able to tie in.
Okay.
on the 16th.
So 8 or 9 on the 16th?
Yeah, I'll make it work. Why don't we try 9?
9
That would-
on the 16th.
Uh-oh.
9?
Oh, 16th.
I just don't know. We're doing college move-in 15, 16. So
Ooh.
I
Do it
don't
before you
know
go.
the time of day, but let's just put it down and I'll see what I can do.
What the first?
Yeah. we
How
can do
about
the
Thursday the 1st?
Yeah.
The first.
How about Thursday 1st? Thursday 1st?
Travels
Pete?
on Thursdays.
I can do the first, yeah.
Thursday the 1st? Thursday the 1st?
9 a.m.
Just
or 8 a.m.
call that.
8 a.m.?
Going twice.
8 a.m.?
Oh, good.
9 a.m.?
Either
Hold
or.
on.
9 a.m. I think.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. is better? Okay. Okay, 9 a.m. on the 1st. All right, now the community.
I'll work around.
When are we
Yeah,
here in
let's
August?
have to
Yeah.
all agree.
I'm gone, coming home somewhere 12:30, so I could do the 15th, if we switch it to Thursday for August, or the 21st, if we want to do it before the meeting, or the 21st if we want to do it Wednesday.
Susan, what
What
about
time
you?
do you do it?
I
Fine.
am all up in the air, so you guys should just decide.
Okay.
And then I'll figure it out.
Because we could do any time that works for you.
Yeah,
If-
no, you guys work it, and if I
Okay.
can call it in, I'll call it.
Okay. You want to do the 15th?
That's good for me.
Yeah.
And I can do you want to do 3 again?
Let's do 3.
Okay, Tom?
Yep.
It works?
Okay.
Wait, let me just
I think so.
make sure. Oh, it's already on there. Let's check. Ooh, no, we have our PD that day.
The 15th?
The 15th, we have our countywide PD. We're doing it,
What time does that end? Late?
no, it'd probably go, it'd probably go 3:30, 4 o'clock, probably
We
go
do
4.
5 on the 15th? Or is that too hard?
Well, that kind of brain dead
Okay,
anyway,
so
but.
we won't do the
Can
15th.
you just do it out? Well, do you have to be there for the end?
Do you want to just do the 21st?
Uh, 21st,
After, I mean, it's after our meeting, but we're doing that this month, so.
the 21st, if we did like 3 o'clock,
Yeah,
that works.
okay.
Okay.
Work for you again?
Yep.
Just community relations, not communications. Hey. Not get fickle with the naming.
You can call it the start of this month.
And Rosetta, as I'm looking at my calendar, you have ed program during our district admin
It's wrong.
retreat.
That needs to move. That's supposed to be on the 19th.
It is on the 19th.
Yeah, I just have it out there.
Yeah, we have our district.
On the 12th,
Well, we have our professional development for admin on 19th and 20th. And we have training, leadership training.
yeah, it'll have to be the 12th if it works for everyone else.
Does 12th work for you, Adam?
We're just the morning things and yeah.
Yeah. Deb's in, 12th? Let's do.
Okay. We'll call it.
All right.
If we do that, do you want to do policy at 8?
On the 12th?
Yeah.
Oh, we could do that, sure.
Are you traveling that day, Adam?
Well, you know what, if Ed comes that day, I know I need to be out there the 13th. I can do an afternoon or evening flight.
Okay. Okay, so
Do it.
policies on the 12th. You got that, Bob?
Yes, I just told him this at 19th.
Policies on the 12th at 8.
So it's all moved.
Ed programs in there. What are you doing?
This is like the most difficult part of the
Yeah,
meeting for
yeah.
some reason.
It is crazy.
What's on second?
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We just have to make sure on the 19th that we get that stuff on the board.
All right. Now you can.
There you go.
Good.
Vote on it, get your change.
Oh, okay. All those in favor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
aye.
Aye.
Good. Opposed, abstained?
There you have it.
Motion carries. Any items of new business? Seeing none? Do I have to, members of the public, even though there's only Tom?
Yep. That's not only Tom. That's the Tom.
Yeah.
Do I have to say it?
Mhm.
You probably should.
They're recording it.
Members of the public are invited to address the board on any matter for a maximum of 3 minutes during this portion of the meeting. You are asked to state your name, address, and municipality. In response to your comments, the Board of Education may respond or direct the superintendent to do so. The board may also opt to take the matter up at a future meeting so that the matter is researched by district administration. Public comment is now open. Now you should go say something. I said all those words. Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Okay. So may I have a motion, please, to go out of our regular board meeting and into executive session to discuss harassment, intimidation, and bullying matters?
No action will be taken.
No action will be taken.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, abstained? Motion carries.
Five minutes.